2 days ago, I spoke to you from this podium about the stark realities we face with the Omicron variant. I explained the urgency of the situation and issued a call to arms as we dramatically increase our capacity to administer booster doses. Already, we're seeing tremendous response. In one short week, we've doubled our vaccine capacity as it continues to grow every single day. And I want to thank everyone who stepped up once again to roll up their sleeves. But as I said, sitting back, playing defense is not an option. We need to meet this variant head on. We need to do everything we can to push it back. Over the coming days and weeks, daily COVID cases will continue to accelerate, with Omicron being the most transmissible variant we've seen yet. But while our intensive care units remain stable, we expect the number of admissions to grow as more people catch COVID, particularly the unvaccinated. The experts have been very clear. Nothing will stop the spread of Omicron. It's just too transmissible. What we can do, and what we're doing, is slowing it as much as possible to allow more time for shots to get into arms. In order to give our vaccine blitz the time it needs, in order to protect our hospitals from being overwhelmed, we need to implement further public health measures. Dr. Moore will be sharing details with you shortly on what this means and what impact it will have on the weeks ahead.
To further strengthen Ontario's response to Omicron and limit opportunities for transmission, the province is applying a 50% capacity limit in indoor public settings, such as restaurants, bars, gyms, pharmacies, grocery stores, shopping malls, and personal care services. To further reduce mobility and social contacts, additional protection measures are being introduced, including prohibit food or drink service in specific settings, such as sporting events, concert venues, theaters and cinemas, casinos, bingo halls, and other gaming establishments and racing tracks. We will limit the number of people that can sit together to 10 per table in restaurants and meeting or event spaces. It would also require patrons to remain seated. Patrons must also remain seated at concert venues, theaters, and cinemas. Prohibit dancing and singing except for workers or performers. Require restaurants, bars, and other food or drink establishments and meeting and event spaces and strip clubs that serve food and drink, like a restaurant, to close at 11 p.m. except for takeout and delivery. And restrict the sale of alcohol after 10 p.m. and consumption of alcohol in business or settings after 11 p.m. And finally, for informal social gatherings, there will be a limit of 10 people indoors and 25 people outdoors. These measures come into effect on Sunday, December 19th, 2021 at 12:01 a.m.
The decision to limit people's ability to gather, especially during holidays, is an extremely, extremely difficult one to make. And I know these measures will have an impact on businesses during the important season. That's why Ontario joins Quebec's call for the federal government to expand supports for businesses and workers. And we're prepared to do our part as well. Over the coming days ahead of these measures coming into effect, we will be exploring every option to provide more supports. Friends, this variant is unlike anything we've seen. And if we don't take every single precaution we can, the modeling tells a scary story. And we need only to look to the other jurisdictions to see that modeling play out. Right now, the United Kingdom is facing a tidal wave of Omicron infections that threatens the entirety of their health system. This is only weeks after the variant was first detected. We cannot allow that scenario to take hold here. The UK experience is an urgent call for action. As always, we will do whatever it takes. We will act cautiously. I want to speak directly to the parents out there. I know you're concerned about your kids' schools and what to expect after the new year. I can tell you this, no decision has been made on what that looks like yet. We are simply not in the position to say The situation is evolving too quickly to be able to know where we'll be in early January. But what we're working on every single day with the goal of doing whatever is necessary to protect students and staff. Friends, I know you're all tired. Over the last 20 months, you've been asked to sacrifice so much. We've all dug so deep, and now we need to dig a little deeper. We'll get through this, and the best way each of us can help is by getting vaccinated. Getting your booster, please do so as soon as you possibly can.